Hello, and welcome back. It looks like we're gonna travel to, well, if not another planet, at least somewhere in space. So we'd better take care of some of the leftover stuff on Motavia first. And that means some mercenary jobs. You might have thought I was talking about that sandworm monster I mentioned earlier. But no! That thing one-shots me still. After Alice dies, a lot of lines change in Ido. Alice was a pretty important part of the community. Well, there's a couple of other things we didn't really explore around here as well. Word travels at video game speed. Well, that's to be expected. I still prefer it over NPCs' lines not changing when things happen. Yeah, they decided to put that in the game. Well, I guess this is supposed to be a really shady place, and it's got shady people in it, and that sort of thing. Yeah, Rika's right, let's get going. Hey, Rune counts as an adult, I think. I didn't say anything, lady. Yeah, okay, sure. You know how there are certain kinds of denials that are more clear about what they're doing than them shouting that they actually do it? I think that was one of them. These jobs open up after you get the Land Rover, but I wanted to deal with the plot stuff first. Now, just from exploring things thus far, we already know where the dog is going to be. But for the sake of formality, let's go and get clues, because we will need a couple of clues. And then we shall be on our way. Well, I'm playing a video game, so of course I have time on my hands. Ooh, yeah. It is a sign of the end times when someone treats Chaz with anything resembling respect. Alright, so let's just go grab that dog and that'll be that, right? Now this dog is a champion. And that's because the town the dog is at is Earthquake Town, And if you'll remember, we couldn't get to Earthquake Town until we could get a Land Rover to cross that sea of thick quicksand. But the dog apparently doesn't care about any of that, because there it is. I guess we got ourselves a problem. The town it goes to next is past the next field of super quicksand, and apparently it travels faster than the speed of magic because, well, it's right there. You're not gonna get him this time. Alright, the solution is in the clue that the dog likes sweet things. But that in itself is not enough, because the only store that sells sweet things can only be reached by Dragon Questing it around this town. Although there is a clue. If you were walking around normally, you'd probably notice that one of the buildings was walled off. Wait, the basement? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Are you serious? Oh no, this is the shortcake factory, isn't it? They're gonna sell shortcakes. I know. Yeah, shortcakes! You. I'm okay. I'm not mad or anything. No. I should explain. In Phantasy Star 1, there was also a situation where you need to get shortcakes, and that was required to progress in the game. In that game, the shortcake shop was in the lowest floor of a monster-filled dungeon. Phantasy Star 1 dungeons are not the same as the dungeons in later games. Those were Wizardry 3D maze games. You went through those with a pen and graph paper. And that dungeon, in particular, was not that easy. I have memories. And yes, it is a... well, so that was a callback, for sure. Alright. It is worth doing these, by the way, because as you've noted or noticed in earlier parts of this playthrough, the ability to buy the armor available when you find it is often very helpful. It's something that I didn't even notice until this playthrough, which is weapons tend to be found, but armor is usually something you buy. I'd take that as a compliment considering what that dog was able to do. And here's another one where we already know what's going on. But for the sake of formality, let's go teleport over there and get the story from them. I appreciate that you can use those teleports even in town. You don't have to be out in the overworld to do it. You can use it basically any place where you're allowed to save the game, as far as I can tell. I do appreciate that they set these up beforehand, though, with if you talk to everyone the first time around. Yep. Well, what can I say? I've been there. How long have you been changing your clothes? It's been probably weeks since I last talked to that person. Something is weird. No, thankfully. Yeah, finishing Zio's well, I should say finishing the Nervous Dungeon changes a lot of the things people say all over the place. I guess that just goes to show how much of an impact the guy had on things. And of course, there's always people who say they're believers but don't actually attend or anything. I like touches like that. And like this. Now, we saw the lady that we were supposed to talk to, but there is one more place I want to stop by, and that's the kind of out-of-the-way inn with all of those kind of guys who are only in the church because it gave them authority to push people around. And it's mostly empty now. Huh. Did not see that one coming. I what? Zio will be defeated, and then I feel like that's another translation thing. Well, let's go ahead and resolve this thing. This is probably the simplest mercenary mission you get. Hunter mission, whatever. But of course it's not quite that simple. And this is a test of whether you've been paying attention to the shops that you've gone through. Or in my case, whether you know what you have to do ahead of time. Yeah, you pick that up from the Termai tourist trap shop. Of course that's the important thing. So let's talk to the neighbors before we go. Because even though I'm by no means going to collect every bit of text from this game, well, I try at least. So we can see that after the fact that Zio's religion has kind of two sides to it. There's the people who honestly believed in him, and then there's the people who got kind of brainwashed, which is, that sort of thing has happened, especially in Phantasy Star 1. So it's not too surprising that we'd see it here. It's scary for sure. I think one of the things that destructive cults and destructive people in general have in common is that when they try to latch on to victims, they try to isolate them from the outside world. Which is why they often target people who don't have many ties to the outside world in the first place. And now we have a real hunter job, or at least a job she didn't outright say was not suitable for hunters, so I guess we're moving up in the world a little bit. So let's go back to Earthquake Town. Because remember that stupid kid who wanted to jump into the crack to go to the other side of the world? Well, guess what happened? He fell into the crack. Oh. Okay, we got actual danger. Also, going by the prices given by these hunter missions, Alice was going easy on Han. It looked like she was extorting him for all he's worth, and I guess, given his reaction, she kinda was, but by hunter standards, he was getting a great deal out of it. I mean, we're charging 5,000 just for a quick mission like this. Uh-oh. Now, if you remember the last boss we got from a hunter mission, we can guess that this one is not going to be terribly easy. Fun fact, I learned the hard way that Daban actually makes a very big difference in whether you can survive things. The first time I tried this, I did not use Daban, and I got a full party wipe in fairly short order. Use your buffs. That being said, the specifics of the fight, well, you've seen all of them already. Chaz and Rune do their damage thing and Rika heals. Granted, that's how it goes, but this time I have Sar at least, so even though its recovery doesn't fully outpace Cell Split, the characters don't get knocked out at a threatening pace, I'll put it that way. It would take a lot of rounds to get worn down by that. And, well, Rune especially is as good at blasting things as always, so I'm fairly confident that I can win an endurance battle. Man, the more I see how Rune becomes a physical tank when he has two shields, the weirder it feels. And once again, like the last Hunter mission boss, that's a lot of experience. Even Rune gained a level from that. And Chaz gained that party-wide instant death technique that I'm almost certainly never going to use. Oh, yeah, I guess there was that thing that happened. That kid's gonna do this again. Or something like it. I feel sorry for his mom. Yeah, good luck with that. Come on. He doesn't even care that he was eaten by a monster. 10 out of 10 realism, though. Kids can be like that. Well, that was a pretty decent amount of cash we got. Or we're about to get. And I think that just about does it for this episode. Now that all that stuff is out of the way, we can finally go get on that shuttle and explore what's ahead for us in the story. Also, I think that's the only Hunter mission where Chaz and Rika don't say anything afterwards. Well, I think that's it, so I'll see you next time. Later.